Hello, friends, and welcome to Incluziv Cloud. Incluziv Cloud is one of the most comprehensive distribution management softwares for the home furnishing industry. Today, we would look at how Incluziv Cloud would help you with your sales processes and with your inventory management. So, without wasting any more time, let's deep dive in. Reach to your Incluziv Cloud account and you log into your account. Upon login, you would see a lot of dashboards which basically show you what all activities are there. And then you get these reminders, which are reminders that you set to follow up with customers or suppliers or any other parties that you would want to. You can look at these reminders and call back your customers, or you can reduce it for the moment and continue with your going on work. Now we'll look at how the sales order and picking process works in Incluziv Cloud. It's a very simple process. We quickly have a look at how things work in Incluziv Cloud. You go to sales orders. You have two ways in which you can create a new sales order. You can directly click the plus sign to reach the new sales order form, or you can click sales orders, and here you can click on the new SO form on top right. Here you can put in the order reference number or the PO number that the customer has given. At every point, you have these eye marks to explain you what each of these fields means and what data you need to enter there. You can select your customer. And upon selecting your customer, the default warehouse of the customer and the price list get auto-populated. If you want to change the shipping address, you have all the existing shipping addresses of the customer. You can also have a different shipping name along with a different shipping address. So a customer can virtually be sending it to any other address or store that he wants to. If you want to add a new address on the fly, you can do that by clicking on the Add New button, or you can select any of the pre-existing addresses. If you have any phone calls to be made to the customer, you can do it using the Contact Details tab. Herein, you would see all the contact people at the store, along with any sales representative that you may have from your organization to handle that customer. If the customer states that he wants a new contact to be added, you can do that by clicking on the Add New button out here and adding a new contact. While adding a new contact, you can always set in which all alerts are to be given to the customer or the contact. And not all contacts need to receive emails or SMSs for all the activities happening on that account. You can select the shipment partner and the mode. You can select the collection, whichever collection the customer wants. Here again, the thing to note is only the collections assigned to the customer are available for allocation. So I can select a collection. I can select a serial number. Shows me the stock available in that collection. You can put in the quantity that I require to send to the customer. Click on Add. Similarly, I'm selecting another collection. You can view the order. You can click on Proceed, review the order once, and confirm the order. Thing to note is at this point in time, there's a credit check which is happening in the system, which will decide whether this order has to go in for approval or whether the order is gone in for processing at the warehouse. At this point in time, you also need to note that an email has been sent out to the customer giving his order details, and these can be seen in the email ID of the customer. So as I said, the order email has gone to the customer with the details of the order and what quantities they've ordered. And there's a PDF document which has also gone to the customer, which tells them the details of the order along with the pricing. So this detailed order has gone to the customer. On your dashboard, you see pending order approvals, and you can come down and people with the appropriate authority or the user rights can go and click on approve orders, and they can see why this order has come in for approval. It is come in for credit approval, and the credit limit of the customer is about 30,000 rupees, and he's already having an outstanding of about 4.5 lakh rupees. So you can click on this outstanding to see what is the aging. So how many bills are between 0 to 30 days, 30 to 60, and so on. Any unlinked credit notes which are there with the customer, and specifics of which invoices, and you can click on the invoice to get the invoice details and talk to the customer. Apart from this aging which you see here, there's also a CRM on which you can click on the name of the customer and see all his outstanding, aging, statement, and click and add notes. So if you want to send the overdue outstanding to the customer, you can just click on a link and an email gets sent out to the customer. So as you see, the outstanding statement has reached the customer. The outstanding will be as on the date, and he can download the statement and view the statement, which will give him all his net outstandings, which are available in the system, bill-wise, detail-wise. Coming back, he can also enter notes. So while he enters notes, he can say, select a few invoices which he wants the customer to pay immediately for his order to be released. And he can say that, okay, I want to, and I can set a reminder date for this. So for example, I said today's date, send a mail, and I add an invoice copy. This not just adds an internal note for the team, so anybody else who comes to talk to the customer can see who spoke last and what was the conversation. It also sends out an email to the customer with those two invoices as an attachment. Now you see the email has reached the customer and it shows exactly what has been discussed and those two invoices, and if there is a follow-up date, so it also shows that there is a reminder date to follow up with the customer. This reminder is also going to show up on the dashboard of the customer. So if I see my reminders now has this new reminder which says that on 30th I need to talk to this customer for those two invoices. If I click out here, I will see what are the details. I can talk to the customer and then I can maybe close this note. So I can close this note and this note would get moved out, and I have now the notes standing from the older date. Assuming that I don't want to wait for the payment but want to approve the order, I can go here and click on the order and override the system approval and say, okay, I want to approve the order. At the time of order, taking an order, you can give a special discount to the customer. If you want to modify that discount at the time of approval, you are free to do that. If you want to give somebody an extra discount also at the time of approving an order, you are able to do that. Now I'm approving this order, and this order now goes to the warehouse for processing. So let's look at how the order moves forward in the warehouse for order processing. Now the picking menu is where the warehouse team will basically process the orders. The picking menu has multiple menus available, and we start with the pick list. So to generate the pick list, I go to cut orders and I search for the orders. All those orders which have not yet been picked will be available here. All I need to do is print upon this available list and I will generate a pick list. Important thing to remember is the same facility is available on a mobile app, which can be run on a handheld terminal. And this pick list need not be printed physically on a paper, but it would automatically appear on the mobile handheld of the warehouse user. So you can print upon this. And when you print this, you will see the system has automatically allocated a piece and given a rack location for that piece. Now, this is possible only if you are working with rack locations and you have an existing rack location available to the supplier, to the item. So if you don't have rack numbers, then this facility will not be available. The worker would go out and pull the rolls and then give it to the cutting station. So let's look at how it goes to the cutting station. In the picking, you have a menu called as cutting. And here you would basically scan the piece numbers. Assuming that the worker came out with the rolls, so you're copying it from here, and ideally you would scan the barcode and it will show you all the cuts that are available for that order. So we have this order which we have to cut, and there was a previous order also which was pending for cutting and which is also going to be pulled up when you basically scan a piece. Selecting this and I'm cutting from this. So what happens now here is there are two barcode stickers which will come, one which will have the details of the customer with the order number, the item, the meters cut, and a stacker number. Now the stacker number is nothing but basically a cart in which the items of the customer are put till they are available for billing. And this is the balance piece. The balance piece also has the balance meters, and it's got the rack location where the piece has to be put back. So ideally, even if you don't have a handheld machine or a mobile terminal with your workers, they can still use the sticker to place the material back in the warehouse. Now, if you see, this customer has got a stacker number 47. If I cut the next fabric, which is same fabric for the next customer, it will get a different stacker number. So if you see, so the customer gets a stacker number, which is basically stacker number 2. And that's for that particular customer. So System automatically decides upon which stackers to allocate to which customers, and basis that it will auto allocate the process. I'm taking the second fabric for cutting. So the second fabric, again, this is as per the pick sheet that was given, and it's a 10-meter piece, out of which 4 meters have to be cut. There's only one pending order against this fabric, and I'm cutting this. And again, this again gets the same stacker number, which is 47, and you have the balance details and the balance sticker coming in. Similarly, you can process your roll orders, and in case you want to do any if you've cut something and you want to undo that action, you can use the stackers menu and do a few of those transactions. After cutting, the order directly moves into invoicing, and in invoicing you can go and see all the pending items which are available for invoicing. So our latest stacker, which is 47, is out here for invoicing. When you click on proceed, you can come here, you'll see the fabrics. Now, there are two ways of doing this. One is you can use a checkbox, or secondly, if you want, we can also give you a scanning facility here, wherein you scan each of those cut pieces because they have a barcode, and you scan and add them to cart. And here you can now add the number of parcels. So assuming there's only one parcel, and this is about 7 kilos. Now again, here are two ways to bring in the weight. One is you physically weigh the material and put in the weight here. You can also integrate your weighing scale with the program. Alternately, you can also put in the correct linear meter value, that is the GLM, grams per linear meter, in the masters, and that can automatically bring in the weight here, and which is again in editable format, and you can edit. At this point in time, you can click on generate invoice. So what happens is the invoice gets generated and an email gets sent out to the customer with the details which are there. If you also notice in this invoice, there is an airway bill number which has come, which is because we had taken a pre-made series of airway bills from the customer, and which has been used here. One more important thing to notice, if you want to add any extra charges, you can do that at the time of billing. For that, you have to enable the sales bill components, and then you can add some freight charges or something which are non-standard, or maybe an insurance, which you can add at the time of billing. If you see, the email was also automatically sent out to the customer with his copy of invoice. So ideally, you have this automatically happening. So at any point in time, there's no manual intervention when you have to inform the customer about an incoming order or invoice which is generated. At any point in time, all these communications happen automatically. Now, you have a lot of facilities which you can, kind of use at the time of the order. So if you go to sales orders and you search for any order, you can print the order, you can clone the order, you can do cancellations, you can do modifications. All these are possible unless your order is not fully completed or fully fulfilled. You can make any of these transactional actions on an order, and all these are quickly available under the triple dot tab. Now, I will also explain the purchase and the GRN side in a separate video. I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you for spending time with Incluziv Cloud.